Hello, everyone. I'm Z. Thanks for coming back and watching or listening. If you're listening to the podcast or watching perhaps on YouTube or one of our other channels, I want to talk quickly about something that's really been bothering me. And when I say bothered me, I mean that with a good heart. I cannot take another phone call from a friend or someone I know and love that is chasing seeds that are not theirs. If you find yourself in a situation where you're easily what is the word to use? Easily persuaded to pursue things, pursue ways of making money simply because someone has brought this to your attention. I would love to see you all take some time to just pray about it before you jump on something and make sure that it's something that you want to do, something that you feel that God has put in your heart to do. And the reason why this is important to me is because lately, especially lately, I have some very, very talented friends and people in my life who have talked to me and said, hey, Z, I'm thinking of doing this, whatever. It could be some pyramid thing or something, or I'm thinking of doing this. I mean, everyone out here has some kind of way of trying to make money off of somebody, which is really unfortunate, but that's a part of life. And what's bothering me is now I'm seeing that it's working its way into people that I know have very strong talents in certain areas, and they're going left field, which is left, this is left. They're going left field, pursuing paths that has nothing to do with their talents, with the seeds that God has planted inside of them, and they know it. They're just in a mode of somebody said this is a good idea to do. Somebody, I heard that you can make a lot of money if you, start selling such and such. Or I heard you can make a lot of money if you, go online and open up this kind of a page with this kind of account and flood your friends and stuff with it. So I'm hearing so much of it. And I apologize if I'm sounding a little frustrated. The frustration comes from a good place because I've been there. So I've been there. I've been in situations where I've allowed people, I'm almost 50 now. So this is when I was, younger. And I'd say even as recent as maybe the last, maybe 15 years or so ago, I probably took a few little paths where other people was telling me this is a way to make some money. This is a way to do, to bring in some income or what have you. And I think the frustration comes from I realize, and I'm living proof, that when you spend that quality time with God and you spend those moments with Him, asking Him to show you what it is that He put inside of you. Everyone listening or watching me speak right now, you have a specific gift of some sort that God has given you. God has given all of us talents. He's planted seeds in every last one of us. My seed may not look like your seed. Your seed may be, I don't know, being a doctor or being a nurse or I can go on and on. Your seed may be social media. You may be naturally gifted at, speaking in public or entertaining or doing hair or drawing. Some people are amazing artists or I could go on and on and on, right? All of our seeds are different. The mistake that I've made many times in life is out of either desperation or really not really knowing who I am before God, not really identifying and knowing the seeds He's planted in me, I've made the mistake of following any and everything that looks good because, oh my goodness, you mean telling me this person made $100,000 after doing this only for 6 months? Oh my goodness, you mean telling me that I can make, $1 million a year if I just follow this plan? What you guys have got to realize is that, excuse me, there are so many people out here that in some way or another, and I'm not saying everyone's bad, but there are so many people out here that try to scam you and that try to scam people out of their money. They're very crafty in how they do it. They'll make it look really, really good, especially a lot of these little pyramid schemes I'm hearing about now. And I'm not trying to put down everybody that's involved in anything like that. I'm not saying every little pyramid scheme is bad. I don't know anything about them other than I stay very far away from them, and that's my own personal feelings for a number of reasons. But there are many people out here that try to put what I call sort of a front to make something look so good. And you have to really be careful with knowing that you're not led astray. And sometimes, let me say this, sometimes it's not even another person that's leading you astray. Sometimes it's you. I do have some friends in my life and some people I know, because I get calls from a lot of people, just so you know, for business advice and such. But I do have some people that I know that it's not so much someone else is telling them about a program or an opportunity or a way to make money, but it's them. Like every few months, there's people in my life I can think of right now, and I definitely won't say names because, some of them are, people that I'm fairly close to. But every few months, there's something new that they're doing. Every few months. Now, there's nothing wrong with trying different things. I want to make that clear. In fact, if you read the book of Ecclesiastes, which is one of my favorite books in the Bible, by the way, I absolutely love it. Take a look at chapter 11 and what Solomon talks about. Excuse me. What Solomon talks about, I think it was Solomon that was speaking in chapter 11, when he says that, you don't know what'll work, whether this or that. Basically, sow your seed in the morning and try this and try that. And who knows, maybe both would do equally well. So that encourages my heart more than you know, because for anyone that knows me, I've done a lot of things in life, which is probably why I'm so passionate about what I'm talking about now. But I've also made a lot of mistakes. And as I look back on all the things I've done from almost 30 years in the staffing industry, running a staffing agency, writing books, I've done, at least back in the day, I did an attempt at affiliate marketing. I used to teach for a university. I can go on and on and on with some of the things I've done. I've done private labeling, which I still have private label products as well. And I'll talk about that in some other episodes because I want to teach you how to do those types of things. And again, I can go on and on and on about all of the different things that I've done, even having a shop that I've set up through a major retailer and so many other things. But I didn't start them all at one time. And each of those was a seed that God built upon to get me to the next level. But the biggest mistakes that I made, believe it or not, the biggest mistakes was all of those times I went off track, following what everyone else was doing because I figured, if that works for them, then I want to do that too. Oh, this person's doing that, then I can do that. That was one of the biggest mistakes I made. Another big mistake that I made in chasing seeds is not sticking to what I know that God put in my heart to do. Whatever that plan was or that idea that God planted in me, there's been so many times where I started doing it. Then, as you guys know, life gets rough, things happen. Oh my goodness, I can go on and on and on. Maybe the plans don't go as I wanted it to, or it wasn't as prosperous, fast enough for me. I can go on and on and on with all the reasons. Sometimes, to be honest, it was just pure distractions, just getting distracted and kind of like the squirrel, like what, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this. And so those are the times when I feel for me, I've made I'm sorry, there's something in my throat, but I've made the biggest mistakes because I was chasing other seeds that didn't even belong to me. If you guys only knew some of the things that I was attempting to do. I remember one of the things, and I'll be raw and honest about this one. I've written books teaching people how to get jobs, and God is working on me to write some other things right now I won't go into detail about. But I remember when I was interviewing a lot of people for one of my books concerning why people do not get hired for jobs. And I remember in the title of that book was called 25 Reasons Why I Won't Hire You, and the subtitle is What You Did Wrong Before, During, and After the Interview. Now, I'm not doing this as a self-promotion because, to be honest, I need to update the book again. It had its third edition, and now I need to get a fourth edition out. And that's not the premise of me even bringing up the title, but I'm going somewhere with this. I remember years ago, I think it was 1999 when I did the first version, and a couple years back when I did version 3. But I remember a friend of mine saying to me, "Oh, you're writing a book, 25 Reasons Why, people don't get hired." And she said, "You need to be writing a book called 25 Reasons Why I Can't Find a Man." And we laughed about it, and this is a good friend of mine. And she's like, "I'm serious. You need to be writing a book about why I can't find a man." And I laughed about it, and I thought about it, and I said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe that is a good idea." So guess what I did? I deviated from specializing with my career books at that time, right? Which that's kind of what I was, known for and was doing. And I was blessed to be on some networks and to talk about those books and teach job seekers how to get jobs, which is what I love doing. I love helping people. But here's my point I'm making. I wrote those books, the 25 Reasons Why You Can't Find or Keep a Man. And then it was like, oh, why don't you write one about why you can't find and keep a woman? And so then I wrote that one. I had to interview all these people, put a book together. I mean, I went so far away from my seeds because I started following the seeds from someone else. And my friend had great intentions. I love her. She's been one of my best friends, since early high school, right? But I was in the mode, at least at that time, of, oh, well, maybe this could make me some money. Oh, well, if this can help her, then maybe it can help a lot of other people. And maybe I can, do a whole relationship series. First of all, I had no business writing a book in the first place. Excuse me. I didn't know anything about it. That topic that, at least to the degree that to call myself an expert, let's just say. It wasn't really anything I was passionate about doing. I just thought that it made sense because it kind of went along with the title, of my career books. And I just thought, oh, this is another way to generate some money. So I went off course for quite a while, just so you're aware. Not only interviewing all of these single men, interviewing all these single women, getting all these quotes into this book and doing all of this. Not only did I produce and do all of that, I turned around, paid all of this money to have these books published, and that's another subject I want to talk about in a different episode. I want to talk to you, for those who are considering writing a book, how to do that and do it the right way, not the way that I did it, where I was spending all this money up front, and you don't even have to do that anymore. You could write a book and have it published and ready for sale on demand within a day or two, to be quite honest with you. But we'll talk about that in another episode. But I want to make a point here is that I spend so much time, energy, and money going off course because something just sounded like a great idea. Now those books, are out there. I never marketed those books. To be honest, I hate saying this, but I'm a little embarrassed that I wrote them because after I spent all that money and did all of that, I did absolutely nothing with it. In fact, I went to a secondhand store. I kid you not. Lord, this is just so sad to say, but I'm praying that I'm helping you, and I'm praying that if you're watching this, you're smiling with me because you can understand that, okay, I've been there, done that. But I remember going to a secondhand store and just dropping off hundreds of the books, just whatever I had left in storage. I just was like, take it all, dropped it all off at some secondhand store because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. That wasn't what I wanted to do. It was just another way of making money, and the passion wasn't there. It sounded good, and I thought, why not? You get my point? So I chose to use myself as an example instead of calling out some of my friends right now because some of the people that know me are probably smiling like I'm so glad she didn't use me as an example because I just the other day was with a friend who shared something with me. And the bottom line is an opportunity was presented to her, her and her spouse, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. Is just, if you know them, you'll know what they're passionate about, what they're all about, and what their seeds are. It's just so amazing. And they kind of got duped into it. And she had a talk with me, and she's like, Z, I knew that was not what we needed to do. I just thought, well, it sounds good. It's a way of making some money. Let me invest a couple $100 into this thing and see if it works. So I'm bringing this topic up. I'm hoping to help some of you not make these what I'll call knee-jerk reactions or knee-jerk responses to every little thing that comes across your feed. You guys know, and I get it too. I get inundated with emails. If you log in any social media account with all of these ads popping up left and right, and then every blue moon, someone trying to call me with some unique opportunity, or in my case, a unique opportunity to invest in, and they make it sound so good. Yeah, you do da-da-da-da, and Z, if you come aboard and you invest with this, here's what I get that all the time, just so you know. But I thank God for all of the failures and all of the things I've been through so that I'm able to sit back and say, I'm not going to chase that seat. That's not my seat. And it might be a good opportunity, but that's just not my seat. right now, where God has me is, there are a couple businesses over the years that God has blessed me to start and run and maintain a staff and take good care of people and do what I do. And now God has given me a seed of, Z, I need for you to share with other people all the things I've shared with you. I need you to take me with you and motivate and inspire people. There's many people right now that feel like giving up in life. There's people that feel like no matter what they do, it's going to fail. There's people that feel like they have no one to turn to, no support, no help. And I need you to be authentic. I need you to not be in the mode of how am I going to make money off of somebody. And I need you to go out there and I just want you to give and to share my word with people and to help people. And that's the seed that I have. And some people may not agree with that, when and I only told maybe 2-3 people that I was even starting up this podcast and getting it all going. And that's another thing I'll talk about on another episode about protecting your dreams. When God gives you a vision, you really need to protect it. I'll talk about that another time because the story of Joseph really comes to mind with that. But my seed is where it's at now. And there's probably 10 opportunities before me that I can invest in and I can do and I can try this and I can try that. And you want to know what I've said with each of those opportunities? Nope, it's not my seed. Now, if you're thinking, well, Z, that's easy for you to say, I don't have any money right now and I just got to figure out something to da-da-da. Well, go back and listen to some of my previous podcasts, and I'll post a few more about a little bit more about who I am and what I've been through and some of the trying times I've been through. I know firsthand what it's like to not only be homeless and eat out of shelters, but oh my goodness, firsthand what it's like having kids and wondering, okay, how am I going to survive in this? How am I going to make it with this? How am I going to do this? How did I end up here and I've got a master's degree? Like, how did I end up in this situation? I know firsthand. And so the point that I'm getting at is we all have our situations that we go through in life, right? What I'm trying to help you to see, and I'm praying that you listen just for another minute or two, hear my voice. Stop chasing seeds that don't belong to you. Many people will present you with opportunities and whisper things in the ear that might, sound a little good. And maybe that may be something I need to do. And it's only a $100 investment. Maybe I can do this, or it's only a this and that. Spend time in prayer before God and ask him, God, what is the seeds that you've put inside of me that you want me to focus on growing? Who am I before you? What do you want me to do? What talents have you given me that you want me to utilize? And I'm telling this to you all because I see so many people being scammed and taken advantage of, and even, and that's part of why, to be honest with you all, I was hesitant about doing this. I don't even know what to call this podcast yet because I love talking business. I love the thought of teaching people how to come from between a rock and a hard place and how to get out of that situation. I love talking about how to start up a company or ways that you can do it without, having to invest anything, and how you can get orders before you even get that book out, for example. Like, I could just go on and on and on. You could give me a pen and I could talk to you about how you can market that pen and how you can turn it into a pretty nice size company to help your family. That's just who I naturally am. But the other part of me is I naturally, by the grace of God, I love God. I love serving him. Now, the majority of my family is ministers. That's true. My grandpa, who, practically raised me, minister. My mom ministered. My sister, on and on and on. But I love looking at the simplicity of God, and I love matching it to my life. And so for my seed in this is I want to help you to recognize those seeds that are inside of you by realizing that the answer is just spending time with God. And I don't care what the situation looks like. I remember when I started one of my businesses, when I was starting up my agency, I didn't have a dime to my name. I was going through a very, very, very rough, dark time. And I just remember spending so much time sitting in my closet in darkness. That's what I do. I know that's weird, but I literally sit in my closet in the dark. And I just cry. I stand. I say, Lord, show me who I am in you. What do you want me to do? Just tell me and I'll do it. Just tell me. And he took me through a journey. He didn't take me from A to Z. He took me through doing some things that I had friends laughing at, like, why are you going after pennies? Why are you going after coins? Well, this is what God's having me doing right now. I'm flipping some items on eBay to kind of get that to the next level. Then I'm flipping some items and doing some things with, Amazon. And then I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And God took me through my own little journeys to get me to where he has me now. And I'm still on a path. And all I'm trying to do is to help you guys see that the answer really is with God. As simple as that sounds, the answer is not in the current trend or what some, I don't know, I guess you can say friend. Some friend may tell you it's the next thing to do or something that popped up in your feed. So before you decide to, I'll use the word invest or dedicate your time or your talents to anything, I just want to plead with you to sit down and pray before God. And ask him, Lord, is this my seed? Am I chasing seeds that don't belong to me? Or is this my seed? Is this something you planted in me and you want me to pursue? So that's the whole premise of this. I feel like I had to record this because, as I said before, so many people have been coming to me with things, either trying to get me to invest and do some things. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I have all this crazy money, but either trying to get me to invest and do things, or I've seen heard many friends and people that I know or people coming to me for advice that are about to do some things that I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Like, why would you be investing and going and doing this when you don't even know anything about running that type of a bit? Like, why would you invest in that why would you do that? And then the simple answer is, well, I just was hearing that this is where I can make some money. So I'm hoping that this protects someone, this message, and that whoever was thinking about, I don't know, joining some club, joining some mastermind group, because, oh my goodness, there are a dime a dozen now. Don't even get me started on that one. Or doing this or doing that because everybody's making it look so good. I'm saying to you, don't do anything until you've sat your butt down in the presence of God and asked him, Lord, is this seed for me? And lastly, what I'll say before I started this whole little podcast episodes, and this is still new, we're just getting it off the ground and going. What you don't know is this was almost a year and a half, 2 years. Actually, that's not true. Probably more like 3 years in the making of me pleading and talking to God and asking him to show me, how do you use my talents in a better way to help your people? How? I mean, I'm talking crying in the closet, asking him, God, you've naturally given me a gift of public speaking. I'm not afraid to speak on a stage or be in front of people. You've naturally given me an entrepreneurial spirit, right? I mean, I could start a business in a heartbeat, He's naturally helped me with that. And he naturally has built in me to have compassion and to care about helping people and spreading his word. In fact, I had my staff take a test, and it scores you on, compassion and entrepreneurship and all these other things. And I literally went off the chart in terms of, entrepreneur as well as compassion and love and empathy. I think that is what it was, empathy for others. So that's how God built me. But it took quite a bit of time of me pleading with him. How do I do this? Do you want me to put something out here where I'm just talking business? And giving people all these ideas of things they can do? Do you want me, I'm not a minister, I don't have a church, I'm not even, I'm a Christian, don't get me wrong, and I guess many people will say, well, we're all ministers because we're ministers of the Word of God. But you get my point. I don't have a license, I'm not a preacher, so am I supposed to be out there just doing that? Or am I supposed to just have a sort of a podcast where I'm just motivating people? Because there's so many motivational speakers out there. But then my answer to that was, but there's so many motivational speakers. I've heard so many of them. But the problem is you got to keep listening to them to stay motivated because there's no meat to go with it to sustain you. And I know because I've been listening to motivational speakers for years. And so I had to spend a lot of time in prayer before God, like, how do I do this? And when God finally put it in my heart, I want you to get up. Actually, to be honest, he showed me a radio. He was like, anyway, this is going to sound weird when I say what God showed me, but I'll just keep that to myself because you guys would think, okay, something's wrong with her. But he gave me a vision of just me being on radio, like headphones, a microphone. I kid you not. I'll save you all the details. So I just thought, okay, if this is what you want me to now do to spread my talent and to help people come to know you, I'll do it. I said, but God, you got to go with me. So when I told a few people about this, they're like, well, why are you doing this? Like, how are you making money? How are you going to make money from it? So you mean you're going to go out and get camera and microphone and all these things and hire somebody to kind of help you with this? And how are you going to, and this is the seed that God has put in front of me. And this is what I'm going to do. Does that make sense? So hopefully this makes sense, that the only thing that I'm trying to get you all to see is to please stop chasing seeds. Please, I'm begging you. Stop signing up for any and everything that you see. Stop joining this and that and creating this website and this website. And here's a good test that you can do to see if you fall in this category. What did you commit to doing a year ago, and are you still doing that now wholeheartedly? Or what did you commit to doing 6 months ago to God? What did you commit to doing, let's say, 2 years ago, and are you still doing that wholeheartedly? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't pivot and do a little something different. But the point I'm getting at is that if you find yourself all over the place, chasing seeds, being like the squirrel, what's next, what's next, what's next, you will really find yourself doing something that you may make a little money from it. You may make some money, but you won't be motivated. You won't really have the passion. What you don't know, for those that are watching this episode, I'm going off of 2 hours of sleep right now. My family had an emergency last night. I didn't get home till almost 5 in the morning, had to be out by 7 to come into the office and get this recorded. And it's not like anybody's paying me anything to do this. But you know what? I'm passionate about it. I was passionate about speaking on this topic of stop chasing seeds because I have so many people in my life, friends and people that's contacting me with all of these things they're thinking of doing because somebody told them to. I actually got angry. I think it was a righteous anger. And I'm like, God, we got to get a message out there to people. They got to stop doing this. In fact, I talked to somebody the other day and they said, Z, you got to talk on that topic. Thank you so much. So I got my butt out of bed. My eyes are kind of red if you're watching me right now. Put on a little bit of makeup, picked out my little afro, right? And I'm like, I got to get to the office and do this when I could have kept my butt in the bed. But why? It's not like somebody's here giving me a check. I'm doing it because, you know what? I care. And I want you to not be chasing seeds and being all over the place and being taken advantage of and signing up for every kind of mastermind group and all of this stuff that's going on, where I'm not saying they're all bad. Please don't get me wrong on that. I'm not coming against life coaches and people like that. I'm really not. But I'm just making a point that you need to stop chasing seeds and really grow and develop that seed that God has planted inside of you. And when you channel in to that passion, to that talent, to those unique seeds, and I'm saying seeds in plural because for some of us, like me, God has given us more than one. But when you really tap into those things, then not only will you stick to it, but it won't bother you to get up after only 2 hours of sleep and hit record and start talking to some people because you care about what you're talking about. Anyway, I probably talked longer than I should have, but I love you all. This is Z. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. This is Z again. Do not forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Bye-bye.